I'm sorry, John Russell from Veterans Benefits, Politics, and the War Machine. So, Mr. Russell, sorry about that.
Hi, everyone. I'm certain that people here are hearing some things that they don't ordinarily hear. Again, my name is John Russell. I was the Democratic nominee for U.S. House of Representatives, District 5 in both 2006 and 2008. And I am a Democrat, but I am well known for being an independent thinker, if you know what I mean. I don't follow the party line. And it is, I follow my own drummer and my drummer through objective analysis and coming to right-thinking conclusions that benefit the people. And I think throughout my experience as a candidate, I have learned how things work. And they work the same way for both parties. Right now, we see and hear the Republicans as they joust for the proven candidates that they wish to see reach elective office. We see the state Republican Party who has put up Bill McCollum saying that we don't want anybody else to stand against Mr. McCollum and to give him a free ride, free clearance to run for governor on the Republican ticket. Likewise, we see the same state party complaining about similar issues with reference to Charlie Crist in wanting people and organizations and the federal, Republican Party nationally, Republican National Committee, getting behind Charlie Crist to the disdain of those who would like to see an open contest for the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate between Mr. Rubio and Mr. Crist. So we see the pot calling the kettle black here. And so that's a little bit of an example of the Republican side of things that is very current, and I think most people are aware of this. I come from the Democratic side. And the Democratic side, in 2004, I ran for U.S. House and came in a very close second in the primary election for District 5 on the Democratic side. And in my run, I spent less than $5,000, which did not require me to file a finance report with the Federal Election Commission. My opponent that won very closely, only by 2,500 votes or so, spent like $85,000 to beat me. Likewise, the gentleman this is in a four-way race. The gentleman that came in fourth spent nearly as much as the guy who won the race. Then in 2006, the gentleman who came in last in 2004 was the person put up in opposition to yours truly. Now, in 2005, I'm trying to draw, if you'll bear with me, I'm trying to draw a parallel here. In 2005, I was selected one of 18 candidates for Congress from around the country by AFSCME and Newhouse PAC to attend a congressional boot camp out in Phoenix, Arizona. A very select group. I couldn't believe it when I saw the letter, and I said to my campaign manager and friend Jim Clark, you know, Jim, I think this letter is real. So we made a couple phone calls, and next thing you know, we're on deck to go out to Phoenix, where we were given instruction on how to do all the things that are required to win. I was told by one gentleman, John, you are one of our future stars. I was privileged at the billionaire founder of the University of Phoenix to meet face-to-face with Nancy Pelosi, have my picture taken, etc. Now, to me, as a guy, I'd feel a little different about Nancy Pelosi today after the history that's gone by since. But at that time, I was having to find a wall to hit my head against to, check myself. Am I conscious? Is this a dream or am I really here? This is really something, as most people would think, coming from a working background as a healthcare professional. I'm a nurse practitioner by profession, and so that's what I do. I work and I take care of people, which brings me to this position here. So moving along, I'm first one of their stars. A couple months later, they're putting up the gentleman that came in last, spending nearly as much as the winner in 2004 primary to do so against me in the primary. All of the media is aligning and endorsing my opponent, unsuccessful opponent. He's spending money like crazy, but ill-advisedly. And we went on to win that primary, and then I found myself in the general election, where I was still obstructed. Even so much as many of you may be familiar, because she's on TV all the time, Representative Debbie Wasserman-Schultz, a darling of the Democratic Party. She endorsed my Republican opponent, Ginny Brown Waite. Virtually so, not once but twice in the St. Petersburg Times, a supposedly liberal newspaper. So we see here how the party is about power and getting power any way they can. Likewise, so are the Republicans. The parties are a means of dividing us from the details, shielding you from the details that you may be in favor of as a person, but maybe not so much as your party that you may be aligned with if you're a Republican. So when we look at this and we look at the big picture, we see that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are virtually one and the same. We call them the money party because they serve the same benefactors: the banking industry, the insurance industry, the oil companies. You look at the Federal Election Commission reports and you see who is contributing to these people. I've said in other events that the lobbyists are the conduit through which corporate dollars, those insurance company, banking dollars, oil company dollars, that flow through to the candidates in return for submissiveness, okay, being a partner with the corporation, being able to sell this to the people that it's really in your best interests. But it's not. It's not. The Republicans are sold that single-payer health care, Veterans Administration being an example of a single-payer health care plan, Medicare an example of a single-payer health care plan, being sold that this is socialized medicine, when by definition it clearly is not. But it is a problem for the insurance companies who make money off of you and me by denying care and by not paying the practitioners who provide that care as a means of generating profit. So what I'd like to bring to the table here is that we need to stand up independently. We need to show them, and maybe the time is not quite right yet, but it is moving in that direction. People are understanding that President Obama has taken more from Wall Street than any other presidential candidate in the 2008 election cycle. And so have we seen anyone who has been prosecuted for their corporate doings that has given us this economy? Have we seen, we've seen the banks being given tremendous amounts of fiat dollars. People are going to talk about the Federal Reserve. Those fiat dollars diminishing the value of our dollar and putting us further in arrears. Now, I was an anti-war candidate. When I went to that boot camp with Nancy Pelosi and all these Democratic muckety-mucks, I was an anti-war candidate, but then they went to the moderate candidates who were more in support of continuing this war of choice.